What if there was a world with no rich, no poor, no competition, just total equality? A world where everyone works for the good of all and everything is shared. That's the promise behind communism. But what is communism really? And could a truly communist society ever exist? Let's get into it. Communism is a political and economic ideology that seeks to eliminate private property and profit based economies. Instead, it promotes public ownership of major industries, like mines, factories, and natural resources, so that wealth is shared among all people equally. Communism is considered a more advanced stage of socialism, but Karl Marx, one of the founders of this idea, believed it would happen in two stages. The first is the transitional stage. During this stage, the working class take control of the government and economy. People are still paid based on how long, how hard, or how well they contribute. The second stage is true communism. At this point, it's a classless, stateless society with no private property, no government, and no money. Everything is shared based on the principle from each according to his ability to each according to his needs. Leaders like Vladimir Lenin adopted and modified these ideas, trying to build real world systems based on Marx's theories. Now, how does communism look in the real world? During the 20th century, about one third of the world's population lived under communist governments, such as the Soviet Union and China. These regimes were known for a one party rule, no political opposition, and limited personal freedoms. However, their economies often suffered from inefficiency and lack of innovation. This contributed to the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. Today, only a few communist countries remain, and most of them now allow some market competition while keeping strict political control. So, what would a perfect communist society even look like? First, there'd be no social classes, meaning everyone is equal. There'd be shared resources, meaning factories, land, and goods belong to the community. Needs over profit would be something they live by, meaning things are distributed based on necessity, not wealth. And finally, self governance. Decisions would be made directly by the people affected. But what about laziness? Would some people simply refuse to work and still benefit? In an ideal communist society, strong community bonds are meant to replace greed. Think of a wolf pack. Each wolf hunts not for reward, but for survival of the group. If a wolf refuses to contribute, the pack responds through social pressure or correction. Humans might use education, peer pressure, or in extreme cases, punishment to encourage participation. However, this idea remains purely theoretical because no true communist society has ever existed to test it. Now, on to our final question. Could communism exist today? So, this is where things get complicated. A true communist society has never existed, and Karl Marx never gave detailed instructions on how one should function in the real world. But could it possibly work now? The first major challenge would be global capitalism dominance. A communist nation might fall behind militarily and economically when compared to the capitalist counterparts. Another major issue is ideological conflict. The world has already seen numerous conflicts between communism and capitalism. A lone communist society would face heavy resistance and interference. Another issue would be the scale of community. The main idea behind communism is caring for your community, and it's easy to share within a small group like a family or a village. But can millions of strangers trust and sacrifice for each other? It's difficult to say. Now, the final major issue would be human nature. Greed, ambition, and individual goals often clash with collectivist ideals. Because of these reasons, many argue that communism could only work in small, tight knit communities, not large modern nations, at least not without a massive transformation in global values. So, what have we learned? We've learned that communism aims for total equality and shared ownership. The ideal vision is a classless, stateless society focused on human need, not profit. Real world attempts have often failed due to economic inefficiency, political oppression, and human nature. And while inspiring to some, true communism remains theoretical, an ideal that has never fully existed. So, could it ever happen? Maybe, but not until humanity redefines what it values most: competition and profit, or community and equality. What do you think? Could humans ever build a truly equal society, or is communism just a dream? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on political and philosophical ideas. Thanks for watching.